another class. I'm Dr. B, your chemistry, your science teacher online. You know that we do classes on chemistry, physics, biology, and mathematics. Like today, we're going to be talking about solving trigonometry using swords. Something quite very unusual. Alright, but today we are going to be doing that because there are questions that come up in mathematics, especially trigonometry, that requires you to solve them or rather to complete the trigonometry using swords. Now it's Dr. B Science classes. Do not forget that you are expected to at least share this class with your colleagues and your groups, and at the same time tell them to subscribe. Subscription to this class is free. No one charges you anything. Now why you have to subscribe is so that when you have other lectures like this coming up, they will pop up on your screen. Okay, and then you can be able to watch them as well. Now you also go to Facebook. It's Dr. B Science classes on Facebook, and tell them to follow. You can leave comments as questions or even appreciation. You can also like, as the case may be. Okay, let me use the opportunity to wish you a very happy Easter in arrears. Now today we are going to look at solving trigonometry using swords. But how is that possible, one may ask? There are questions that you will come by in trigonometry that expect you to leave your answers in sword form. That means there is a connection between sword and trigonometry. You see most of these questions in WAEC, West African Examination Council Examinations Council, and you also see in NECO, you see in your first degree as well, and other problems in mathematics that will require you to solve trigonometry, leaving your answers in sword. Now I'm going to take you through step by step on how we can solve problems. Now this is a typical problem in trigonometry that we are expected to leave our answers in sword form. So it could come like, solve this trigonometry and establish the answers for C and D, leaving your answers in sword. So it may come in that way. That's how you see it. They will say, okay, solve this trigonometry, okay, and establish the answers for C and D, leaving your answers in sword. How is that possible? Now today I'm going to show you that it's possible by solving this. Okay, before we do that, you must understand some basic things in trigonometry. Now, trigonometry has to do with triangles. Triangles can be either isosceles triangles, they can be also equilateral triangle where all the three sides are equal, or can even be right angle triangle like the one you have here. Now, there are two right angle triangles here. Now, one is the normal right angle triangle, and the other one is the inverse of the right angle triangle. Now, for every trigonometry, it comes with angles and sides. Now, for you to be able to solve a trigonometry, you must first understand the sides of this triangle. If you don't know the sides of the triangle, you will not be able to solve the problem of trigonometry. Now, that is one. Another one is that you must understand the convention of what? Of trigonometry. That is conventional trigonometry. But before we go to the conventions of trigonometry, let's first understand what the sides are. If you take a look at a right angle triangle, you'll notice that one side of the triangle is longer than the other sides. And that is why in Pythagoras' theory, you are told that the longest side of the triangle, especially a right angle triangle for like this, which is BD square, is equals to this side, which is BC square, plus this side, which is CD square, where of course BD will be the square root of BC plus CD. Now this is the Pythagoras theory. It says the square of the longest side in a right angle triangle is equals to the sum of the square of the two shorter sides. That is for you to know that in a right angle triangle, one side is longer than the two other sides. And for a trigonometry, that longest side is always called the hypotenuse. So this side is called the hypotenuse. And we write it as HYP. That means that this side, which is the longest two, is also known as the hypotenuse. As simple as that. You must know that the side which is the longest side in a right angle triangle is the hypotenuse. The side that faces the angle, usually the side that faces the angle is always described as the opposite. Okay? Then in some other conventions, we can just say the side that is facing the hypotenuse is always also called the opposite. So this side is the opposite, OPP. So this side therefore becomes the adjacent. You must first identify the sides of a normal trigonometry, normal triangle, before you'll be able to solve the problem that will link you with the sword. So this side is the longest, is the hypotenuse. This side that faces the hypotenuse, or perhaps faces the angle, is the opposite. And the side that is already adjacent to the hypotenuse is called adjacent. Now in that case, it means that this side is also the opposite, while this side is the adjacent. So we have this. We have been able to establish the sides of the triangle. The next thing for you to do to understand trigonometry is to understand the conventions in trigonometry. There are 3 conventions in trigonometry, and the first one is the SOHCAHTOA. The SOHCAHTOA. You have heard this before in trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA. Now, the SO means sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So it means that where you have to use sine of an angle, you must consider the sides opposite and hypotenuse. So once a side of a triangle in a trigonometry gives you opposite and hypotenuse, it means that the angle can be solved using sine. And then you have the curve, which is the cos theta equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, which means that whenever you are given adjacent and hypotenuse, you are expected to use cosine. These are things, conventions that you must know if you must be able to flow with in trigonometry. Now, this is tangent, so this is tan theta is equals to opposite, which is this, all over adjacent. So whenever you are given opposite and adjacent in the side of a triangle, most importantly right angle triangle, you consider using tangent. Now we have been able to establish something. We have been able to get the sides of the triangle. We have been able to get the normal conventions of trigonometry. Now we can solve this problem. First, let us solve a triangle BCD and be able to look for this, a D. Okay, now let us clean this. From this triangle BCD, where is this? For this triangle BCD, the trigonometry function we are going to use from here will be because of the side that are given. From this triangle, the D side is given for us to look for, and then the CD is given to us, which is this. That means we are given opposite and adjacent. So what trigonometric convention are we going to use? We are looking for opposite and adjacent, which is this. So we are using tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. For this triangle BCD, where the angle is given at D. Now, these are the basic things you must understand. Otherwise, you won't be able to appreciate trigonometry. Now, once this is given, we are expected to look for this side. So this side opposite is D, adjacent is 15, and this is tan theta. So what do we do next? We are going to look for D. So we cross multiply. Simple mathematical analogy. We're going to cross multiply. So it will 15 tan theta equals to D. So we have that. Therefore, D is equals to 15 tan theta, because we have cross multiplied. Now it brings us to the end of applying trigonometry. Here we must now move into surd. That's why they told you that you should solve the problem using surd. You should leave your answer in surd form. So once you get here, you need to now introduce your surd. I want us to know that for every trigonometric problem, there is a surd implication. And what that simply means is, for every of your angles, they can be defined in surd form. For example, tan theta in surd is 1 over surd 3. So tan theta, tan 30, tan 45, tan 60. The same thing with cos 30, cos 45, cos 60. Same thing with sin 30, sin 45, sin 60. They have their surd representation in trigonometry. It is something you can solve and get out. But here in this class, we are not solving that. But just know that whether you go to China, or you go to Cambodia, or you go to America and return here, tan 30 in surd is 1 over surd 3. Alright? Sin 45 in surd is 1 over surd 2. Cos 60 in surd is 1. So all those things are things you must know. Now let's apply that. If we say that tan 30 in surd is 1 over surd 3, let's apply it. That means that we can now have 15 times 1 all over surd 3. That is all we're going to have. Because tan 30, let me change this to 30 so we understand what we are talking about. Tan 30 is 1 over surd 3 in surd form. Okay, so we can now simply use surd. We have solved these problems, numerous of these problems in our previous classes. So you go to Dr. B Science classes, scroll down, you're going to see how we can solve surd. Now a fractional surd in this way can be solved in a simple way. When you have a fractional surd like this, you multiply this surd by the identity. So it means that we will say D is equals to 15 times surd 3 over surd 3 times surd 3. We have solved this problem already, so you'll see it there. And now, if this is how we place it, surd 3 times surd 3. Now, the product of the same surd is the identity of that particular surd. That is all. So surd 3 times surd 3 is 3. Surd 5 times surd 5 is 5. Surd 10 times surd 10 is 10. So it means that surd 3 times surd 3 is 3. So we are going to see that here now. So we have that 15 surd 3 all over 3. That's what we have from here. 15 surd 3 all over 3. So 3 surd 3 is 3. 3 here 1 time, 3 here 5 times. So it means that D is equals to 5 surd 3. That means the answer here is 5 surd 3. Do you see that we have been able to solve this to solve this trigonometry and leave our answer in surd? Do you see that it's possible? It's very possible that you can solve trigonometry and leave your answer in surd. And that is exactly what we have done here. Isn't it simple enough? Okay, now we can also solve A, B, C and leaving our answer in surd. That means we are going to look for C and we'll leave our answer in surd. Maybe I should allow you to go and try this and then you send it to our comment section so we can see how much you have done. Or better, let us solve it. At the end of the day, I'll drop a problem for you and see how far you understood what we've done here. So let us solve this triangle ABC with an angle in A and leave our answer in surd form. Okay, for us to do that, I'll have to erase this. So let me erase even the title, you already have it. So let me erase this. Let us say for triangle ABC with an angle in C, ABC with an angle in C. How do we solve this trigonometry, leaving our answer in sort form? Now, the first thing you have to know is the sides that are given to you. Now, we already have the side opposite in sort. We have this side given to us to look for. So we have the opposite and the hypotenuse. What sign convention can we use where we are given opposite and hypotenuse? Of course, is SOH, which is sine opposite over hypotenuse. That's what we are going to use. You must know that. So it means that we are going to have sine theta equals to opposite over hypotenuse. That's what we are going to use. With this, it means that we have sine 45 degrees, which is this, equals to opposite, which is this, 5 sub 3 all over c, which is the hypotenuse. Yes. It means that we have sine theta opposite of hypotenuse, and the opposite here is 5 sub 3, and the hypotenuse is c. That variable we are looking for. We need to solve this trigonometry and leave our answer in sort form. Okay, now it's going to be easy for us to do that. And for us to do that, we are going to say we cross multiply. If you cross multiply, you have c sine 45 is equals to 5 sub 3. That's what you have. Multiply this by this, and this will remain at the right hand side. Okay, now it has brought us to where we'll step into sort. We have been able to establish the trigonometry. Now we need to step into the sort to leave our answer in sort form. To do that, we must know the sort representation for sine 45 in trigonometry. And the sort representation for sine 45 is 1 over sort 2. Remember that I told us that for tan 30 in sort is 1 over sort 3. Go to heaven and come back. That is an established factor, variable. Okay, so for sine 45 in sort is 1 over sort 2. So we're going to have c, okay, times, of course, we established that c is equals to the sort equals to 5 sort 3 over sine 45. Remember that is what we are going to do because we are looking for c, which is the subject of the formula. So we're going to have that c is equals to 5 sort 3 all over 1 all over sort 2, where this sort 2 is sine 45 in trigonometry. Here we have moved into sort. Solving the way we did the other one is going to be simple. So what we are going to do there is that we will now say 5 sort 3 over 1 divided by 1 over sort 2. Change this to times 5 sort 3 over 1 multiplied by sort 2 over 1. But of course, once you change a division sign to a multiplication sign, you do an inverse of the right hand side fraction. So with this, we're going to have 5 times 3, 2 in sort, and this gives us 5 sort 6. That means that this c is 5 sort 6. In this way, we have been able to solve the trigonometry, leaving our answers in sort. Leaving our answers in sort. A very simple way to solve trigonometry in the midst of sorts. Now, with this, I'm sure that you have understood what we've done here. You followed me carefully and have understood what we've done here so far. But there are things you must understand. And those things are that, one, if you want to solve trigonometry, you must understand the type of triangle that is given to you. You must understand the sides of that triangle. You must understand the conventions of trigonometry. where you have sine equals to opposite over hypotenuse, tangent is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent, and then the cosine is opposite over hypotenuse. You must understand these trigonometric functions. Understand the sides of the trigonometry, of the triangles. Then you now use the sides to understand what trigonometric function are you going to apply for you to start solving the problem. And once you are able to establish that particular problem in getting the variable that you're supposed to look for, you step into Surd by introducing the Surd convention for the trigonometry. And once you do that, you use Surd and clear whatever you need to clear, leaving your answers in Surd. Now, thank you very much for being part of this class. I'm glad that we've done justice to this. Use your textbooks to solve more problems. Do not forget to share, to like, to leave comments. Most importantly, don't forget to also share and subscribe. Ask those you are sharing with to subscribe. Send it to your mathematics department friends and tell them, or your colleagues, and tell them to do what? To subscribe and follow what we're doing here. And then tell them to also go to the Facebook.b science classes and do it. And